Coming up on Good Morning Longhorns, repeat offenders tormenting West Campus, what UT leaders and law enforcement are saying as students question their safety.
And a home explodes over the weekend with people to feel the boom all across the city. What we know.
Plus, a former Longhorn star turns himself in. What led to those charges just ahead of the NFL draft.
And the first all-female flight to space since 1963, and it was star-studded. We're joined live in studio with a UT aerospace student and future NASA employee to break down Blue Origin's historic flight.
And finally, with Easter this weekend, we'll show you how we're celebrating. All this and more coming up right here, right now, on Good Morning Longhorns. Longhorns for this Wednesday, April 16th. I'm Lia Hoang.
And I'm Shreya Vaidhyanathan. Thanks for joining us this morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. It's my first time anchoring, so I'm pretty excited.
Well, this is a great show to be first time anchoring because we have a lot to cover. But before we get to this morning's top stories, we wanted to tell you about TSTV's 24/7.
This week, the station is broadcasting live content 24 hours a day. The week-long event features a full lineup of student-produced shows, live segments, and special programming that highlights the range and creativity of TSTV.
We're live this morning for an extended 15 minutes, highlighting our GMLH seniors at the end of the show.
You can donate anytime at supportstudentvoices.org. We thank you for choosing to support Student Voices.
First this morning, an investigation is underway after a second dead body was reported on UT's campus last Thursday. A university spokesperson said foul play was not involved and there is no threat to the university community. The body was located along Dean Keaton across from the Student Services Building, and UTPD initially responded to a medical emergency, according to KVUE.
Another death was reported in the Perry Castaneda Library April 5th, which also had no signs of foul play. Both investigations are ongoing.
Staying close to campus, a recent string of assaults on the drag have left members of the UT community concerned.
Our Anish Tiwari is in studio with more on the individual being accused and how university leaders have responded. Good morning, Anish.
Good morning, guys. The assaults happened this past week on Guadalupe Street. Witnesses say a man wearing a suit and motorcycle helmet randomly attacked multiple people, including students. Police identified the alleged attacker as 22-year-old Ayman Labidi. Labidi, who attended UT from 2020 to 2024, was reportedly arrested 3 times last week. He was released after the first 2 times before returning to West Campus. He is currently being held in Travis County Jail. TSTV spoke with Joelle McNew, president of Safe Horns, a nonprofit focused on improving safety around UT campus. She said students and families were frustrated by the lack of communication from the university. Take a look.
Many students and parents have been frustrated that there were no alerts officially by the university before the official statement on Friday. What we would have liked to see happen is when the first assaults were made on Tuesday morning, then the university could put out an alert.
As mentioned, the university did issue a statement on Friday regarding the series of assaults. In the statement, university leaders acknowledged the frustrations of students and families over safety concerns. They also called for action from local prosecutors to, quote, make sure these offenders stay off campus, end quote. Leah.
Thank you. UT Austin has joined the growing list of schools affected by visa changes for international students. A university spokesperson said several students had their visa statuses, quote, unexpectedly changed, and the Austin American-Statesman reported that the UT system has had over 170 students whose statuses have been changed. Determinations were issued by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the State Department as part of a growing movement targeting non-citizens, and in many instances could result in immediate removal proceedings.
Around 30 students participated in a walkout organized by the Austin Students for a Democratic Society on the main mall last Wednesday. Speakers from SDS and other organizations gave speeches and led chants, calling on the university to take action against federal immigration and education policy. During the walkout, 2 organizers attempted to meet with interim university president Jim Davis inside the tower, but were unsuccessful and instructed to reach out to the president's office through email instead.
Extend an olive branch of here we are at your doorsteps again en masse calling for you to engage with us in a civil discussion for the benefit of all students here at UT. And unfortunately, they decided they didn't want to have that conversation.
Organizers told TSTV News that SDS does plan to take further action, but are unsure of what that looks like at the time.
The latest development in higher education politics came early this week when Harvard University declined to adhere to demands from the Trump administration in the show of force contradicting that of universities like Columbia that obliged. The demands included changes to international admissions policies and curriculum, which Harvard officials said threatened freedom of expression.
Trump threatened to tax the institution as a political entity in response. Harvard is one of many to have received demands from the administration to adopt more conservative values and policies. But Harvard's $50 billion endowment lends the institution more leeway to survive financial retaliation than other universities.
6 were injured in northwest Austin after a 2-story building exploded Sunday morning. The Austin Fire Department confirmed at least 23 other houses were damaged in the incident. 2 people were inside the house during the explosion. 1 was confirmed to be in critical condition, while the other stable. The Travis County Fire Marshal is currently leading an investigation to determine the cause of this incident, but does not believe this will lead to any criminal charges. Across the country, over 700 measles cases were confirmed over the past week, with Texas leading the way at 541 cases, many being from unvaccinated individuals. Despite growing numbers in New Mexico, Indiana, Kansas, Ohio, and Oklahoma, Secretary of Health Robert F. Kennedy Jr. claimed that measles cases have been plateauing across the country. He said, quote, "What we're doing here in the United States is a model for the rest of the world." The City of Austin announced a partnership with the nonprofit Housing Connector to increase access to housing for those in need. Housing Connector provides property owners with financial support through things like rental assistance and damage mitigation. In exchange, properties adjust screening criteria in order to give people access to housing that may have otherwise been out of reach.
Everyone wants to solve this problem, and there just hasn't been enough ways to do it that acknowledge what the property needs, which is getting rent paid on time and having units filled, and also what the community partners need and what our neighbors need, which is access to safe, healthy housing.
The partnership began earlier this year, and Housing Connector is expected to move in their first tenant this week. Now to the Texas Capitol, where the House passed a budget proposal of nearly $340 billion Friday morning, after 13 hours of debate. The proposal largely aligns with the Senate's budget proposal, prioritizing property tax cuts, teacher pay, and border initiatives.
According to the Texas Tribune, the budget diverges from the Senate's proposal, mainly by eliminating funding for the Texas Lottery Commission, among other changes. The budget was approved in the House in a 118 to 26 vote, and now awaits Senate approval.
Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced his intentions to run for a 4th term as the state's second in command. Patrick said the announcement will be formalized after the legislative session, but that his first priority is to finish out the remaining 7 weeks before launching a full campaign.
The position is extraordinarily powerful in state politics, effectively controlling the success of legislation as the head of the state Senate, which Patrick has been known to rule with an iron fist. Patrick has chaired campaign efforts in Texas for all of President Trump's runs for the White House. While Patrick says he's staying put, another state leader says he's vying for a new job. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton officially launched his campaign for the U.S. Senate last week in a long-expected challenge to incumbent Senator John Cornyn, who is running for his 5th term in 2026.
The announcement comes as Paxton's national platform has been growing following a narrowly avoided indictment from the Texas Senate following an impeachment from the State House in 2023. He also faced the threat of prosecution on corruption charges from the Biden-era Department of Justice, though charges were not filed before the change in administration. TSTV News will, of course, bring you updates on the race. Senator Bernie Sanders just won another term, but he's still out engaging with voters, even in unlikely places. Coachella kicked off last weekend, and Sanders made an appearance on stage to introduce the singer Clara.
He spoke about many of his political views and urged the audience to vote against President Donald Trump's policies. He said, quote, "The future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. Stand up to fight for justice," end quote.
The Trump administration released a tariff exemption on Friday that applies to smartphones, computers, and other electronics. It also applies to flash drives, routers, and modems, which are not primarily produced in the U.S. This exemption will primarily affect imported goods from China, but still applies to all other countries involved in the production of these items. This change follows the 20% tariff enacted on Chinese goods earlier this year.
Back here in Central Texas, Austin Pets Alive is opening a new animal hospital. The facility, located in Southwest Austin, will help expand the APA's medical capabilities. The organization said it saved over 120,000 pets at what they call dilapidated facilities, but must now expand their operations further due to space limitations. According to KVUE, APA has experienced a 20% increase in animal intakes over the last 3 years. Austin Pets Alive plans on beginning operations at the hospital sometime between the end of April and the start of May.
The Moody College of Communication has announced a new institute dedicated to the video game industry. The Karch Gaming Institute, funded by a $5 million gift from Matt Karch, CEO of game developer Saber Interactive, will provide hands-on classes meant to prepare students for success as game developers.
The first 2 courses will be offered this fall for any UT student to enroll. They also hope to create a minor focusing on the business and production side of digital games.
And if you're looking for somewhere to go this weekend, Austin's Concourse project could make your bucket list. It's been ranked 27 in DJ Mag's top 100 clubs, up 1 spot from last year. The club opened in 2021.
They are most popular known for their Seismic Dance event, a house and techno festival. DJ Mag said anything is possible at this independent Austin institution.
Happening this Saturday, a group of 14 student artists will present their master's thesis at the Visual Arts Center titled Acceleration Without a Rival. The exhibition, which is free to the public, will include art in a variety of mediums ranging from painting to printmaking to video. The artists will also lead a walking tour as well as answer questions from attendees about the art.
Also this weekend, the Nueces Mosque is hosting a flea market on Sunday where visitors can shop from a variety of local vendors and student-run businesses. The first flea market last year brought in at least 400 attendees. Those who come this weekend can expect food trucks, coffee, and a thrift pop-up.
When we come back, it's been a dry weather week so far, but some disturbances for your weekend could be on the way. Your forecast is next. Welcome back. It's beginning to feel like summer with people paddleboarding and getting back into other summertime activities, and the heat might be here to stay.
To dive deeper into your local forecast, joining us on set is our Caitlin Guyavich. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, guys, and good morning, Longhorns. It looks like the heat is here to stay. However, we are expecting wind and slight cloud coverage as we head into the weekend. Looking ahead, we should expect overcast skies with temperatures ranging from the high 60s to high 80s. Today, we'll have a high of 86 and a low of 63 with partially sunny skies. Tomorrow, we'll have a high of 89 and low of 65 with cloudy skies. And looking at the weekend, Friday is expected to have a high of 90 with strong winds, and Saturday and Sunday are still expected to have temperatures in the 80s, although there is a likely chance of thunderstorms. So definitely stay cool this weekend, Longhorns. And as Austin is gearing up for another scorching summer, the city has passed a law that could help residents stay cool. The law requires all apartments and homes to have an air conditioning unit. The temperature inside rooms must be 15 degrees cooler than the outside temperature and must not exceed 85 degrees. While Texas has a law requiring heating, there is no such laws for AC. Renters have 3 months to comply with the changes. That's all from the Weather Center, Longhorns, and back to you, Shreya.
Caitlin. In the golf world, Rory McIlroy played himself into history, winning the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. McIlroy appeared to have the tournament win secured, leading by a stroke standing on the 18th green. His putt missed the hole, leading into a one-hole playoff against Justin Rose. McIlroy was able to then beat out his opponent and get his green jacket. He's now one of 6 men with the career Grand Slam, the first since Tiger Woods back in 2000.
And as we told you a few months ago, UT did away with this orange and white spring game tradition for this year. But they just announced their plans for its replacement, Fan Day. On April 26th, fans will be able to take part in numerous activities with free admission.
The day will start with a fire sale at the team shop, leading into a game day street fest. Afterwards, fans will have an on-field experience at DKR. Around noon, attendees will be able to get player autographs and photo ops. That's next Saturday, the 26th.
And Texas freshman Trey Johnson announced last week that he will declare for the NBA draft. Johnson said, quote, "The season was a roller coaster ride, but it was a great experience." Johnson was named SEC Freshman of the Year and All-SEC second team. Right now, Johnson is in Santa Barbara, California, preparing for the draft. He is projected to be the 5th pick, according to ESPN. The draft is set for June 25th. But former Texas wide receiver and NFL prospect Isaiah Bond is making headlines for the wrong reasons. He turned himself in for an outstanding sexual assault warrant Thursday morning.
With the NFL draft just over a week away, our Hallie Diamant join us live on more on the case and what it could mean for his prospects.
Thanks, guys. Isaiah Bond turned himself over to Frisco, Texas police for these charges. Here's what we know. The affidavit says that the victim met Bond on social media when he was training for the 2025 draft. The victim states that their conversations turned sexual, leading to an in-person meetup. The meeting was when she claimed she was assaulted. She says that she had asked Bond to step away when she became uncomfortable. In her conversations with Bond, she claims that he said, "Alcohol makes me do things." Bond posted a statement to his Instagram calling the accusation, quote, "patently false," end quote, and told people to wait until all facts emerge before making a judgment. Bond was released from jail after posting a $25,000 bond. Now, as far as the draft, analysts had projected Bond to go in the second round before the incident. In his 1 year as a Longhorn, Bond went for 540 yards and 5 touchdowns. We will have to now wait until the NFL draft, which is the 24th to the 26th of April, to see how this plays out. The rest of the details on the arrest are still developing. Back to you guys. Hey, Leah.
Thank you, Hallie. Texas baseball was on the road last weekend in Lexington to face their series against Kentucky. The Longhorns started off the weekend with a win on Friday with a score of 6-3. Saturday, Texas played 15 innings only to fall short to the Wildcats. With game number 3 on the line, the Longhorns came back on Sunday and secured the second win of the series. In for another good SEC series matchup, Texas will host Auburn in a series starting Thursday at 7.
Texas softball hosted number 5 ranked Tennessee in a series this past weekend. The Longhorns held the Vols to No scores during Game 1, taking home the win with a score of 3-0. Saturday and Sunday, the Longhorns struggled to get something going offensively, only scoring 1 run each game. Texas fell short to Tennessee this series, breaking their 7-game winning streak. The Longhorns will now play number 9 LSU this weekend at home, starting Thursday at 4:30. After the break, UT Aerospace senior Jack Tanner joins us in studio to break down Blue Origin flight that went to space Monday. Stay with us.
And welcome back. Monday marked a historic day as the first all-female spaceflight since 1963 blasted off. The Blue Origin mission lasted around 11 minutes and traveled more than 60 miles above Earth.
The crew included pop star Katy Perry, helicopter pilot and Jeff Bezos' fiancée and journalist Lauren Sanchez, journalist Gail King, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, bioastronautics research scientist and civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, and filmmaker Carrie Ann Flynn.
Here to break down the flight and exactly what it means is Jack Turner, a senior UT student that has interned at NASA and will be working there post-grad. Jack, how are you this morning?
Good morning, guys. How's it going? I'm
Doing really well. We're happy to have you here. So tell us about Blue Origin and the purpose of doing this mission. You know, some people say that space tourism is frivolous. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Blue Origin is a privately owned space company by founder and executive chair Jeff Bezos. You might know him from Amazon. Their focus is primarily on rocket reusability, so trying to create ways in which flights can be repeated over and over and over again without having to spend tons of money just to do a one-and-done kind of rocket launch. I think that kind of when it comes to people that say that space travel, space tourism is frivolous, I completely understand. I mean, why send up a bunch of celebrities just for, less than 15 minutes? But ultimately, each of these launches does serve a purpose, and it is providing really helpful data so that future launches with astronauts that are going to farther places, the moon, the Mars, so on and so forth, are safer and just generally more successful.
Definitely. On the mission, there were both experienced and inexperienced passengers that went to space. What kind of training or preparation do crew members have to go through to prepare for a mission like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So this particular flight was fully autonomous, so it was controlled entirely by a ground crew in West Texas. But for NASA astronauts that kind of go the more traditional route, that aren't celebrities, usually they will go through a lot longer, usually 2-year training that involves a lot of survival skill training, physical examinations, and general use of a master's degree in some STEM-related field.
That sounds really interesting. So could you break down how this mission went, what data they could have collected, and what occurred during this 11-minute flight?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially the timeline was the rocket took off from West Texas around 9:30 a.m., spent a couple minutes launching just above the Kármán line, which is kind of universally understood to be the edge of space. They spent a couple minutes in zero gravity and then landed safely with the assistance of 3 parachutes. The launch was completely successful and once again just really provided a lot of helpful data in terms of what a successful launch and landing will look like, especially when those can be the most dangerous parts of a flight.
So cool.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier you've worked at NASA previously and will return to the organization after you graduate. Tell us about what you'll be doing with NASA when you go to Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm super thrilled to be going back to Houston, NASA's Johnson Space Center, to serve as a flight controller. I'll go through pretty extensive 2-year training of exams, simulations, and classes, just so that I can successfully monitor the real-time operations of the space station.
Wow, sounds like a heavy workload, but we are so incredibly excited for you to take on that next journey.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jack, for joining us this morning, and we're so excited for your upcoming adventure at NASA.
Thank you.
And coming up, Easter is just around the corner. Learn how you can make an easy pudding dessert to take to your family celebrations. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back. With Easter coming up this weekend, our Paulina Pearson is here to show you how to make a simple, easy dessert that you can take to your celebrations. How are you doing today, Paulina?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. I'm excited to show y'all this little treat that I have.
Well, it looks delicious.
Yes.
I know, I'm starving actually.
No, it's pretty much anyone should like this. So yeah, I have the perfect Easter pudding cup that anyone can make for this time of celebration. So let's just dive right in. Basically, we have a pudding cup, and then it basically simulates like dirt with like bunnies in it, except, well, we don't have bunnies, but we do have eggs. So it's like a little scavenger hunt. So basically, I had already kind of pre-did this, but we have like the Oreos at the bottom. It's like crumbled up, supposed to be like dirt. There's probably like a name for these, but whatever. And then basically you just like crumble. I kind of want to put some like more dirt on top because I just feel like, I don't know, you might as well. I had kind of messed up before and literally had like the full Oreo and was crumbling it up, so it had like the cream in it. So, but thankfully it's at the bottom, so you can't tell. But these ones should be a lot better. But
this seems like very therapeutic.
Yeah, no, I should like honestly
take your anger out
smashing it against the table, but I won't be doing that right now. Okay. Honestly, they probably could be crushed up a little bit more, but for the sake of this, that's good. Okay, and then you kind of just, hopefully I'm not making a mess. You kind of just put them on top.
Yeah, they definitely should be way more crumbled, but oh well.
It's chunky dirt.
Okay, now if y'all want to put your eggs on it,
So do we just
do the honors.
drizzle them on top?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, these are such cute eggs.
I know, they really are.
Wait, they're so colorful.
I miss
They're so fun.
Those are so fun.
I know. All right.
Do y'all do any like Easter celebrations at all?
Just spend time with family, you know, spend time with my parents. I'll be going home this weekend to do that, but nothing too crazy. Not that I'm older.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, I wish I was like a little kid again, getting like a little Easter basket.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, these are really cute. I'm so sorry. I realize I don't have any spoons to try.
Do we you know what? Since these Oreos are a little chunkier.
Honestly, I'm gonna try an egg because they're like Sour Patch eggs, and so I'm like really like.
Oh, the egg is good.
Oh, that's really good.
Okay. That was good.
You want some?
Oh. I kind of want to try like an Oreo piece dipped in here.
Wait, I kind of love.
You can't go wrong with that.
Do you do anything special for Easter, Paulina?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go home, spend time with family. We usually go to like brunch, so it should be a nice, relaxing weekend, which I feel like I definitely need.
Yes, especially with the semester winding down.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
Well, thank you, Paulina, for doing that for us.
Of course.
It was super cute. Stay with us, though, because up next, our GMLH seniors are looking back at their favorite memories on the show.
It's all part of our extended show this morning for TSTV's 24/7 week. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns. We're live this morning for an extra 15 minutes as part of TSTV's week-long 24/7 fundraiser. Head to supportstudentvoices.org to donate to Texas Student Television.
Itza and I are here today to honor these wonderful seniors that make this show so special. I've produced this little goodbye video to showcase how sentimental we are to graduate from UT and leave this organization behind.
I've been part of Good Morning Longhorns since my freshman year, and there have been many countless moments that we will miss from our time here, from red carpets to rushing to the studio at 6 in the morning. So take a look at our ode to Good Morning Longhorns. Love, the seniors.
Hi, my name is Morgan Dubel.
Hi, I'm Paulina.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren.
Hey y'all, this is Itza.
Hey, it's Alex.
Hey y'all, my name is Ariba.
I can't really imagine being at UT without TSTV or without GMLH. So many of my best friends who are probably all scrolling through this video right now, they encourage me to be better all the time. We're constantly helping each other out, but we're also having so many laughs along the way.
Since my freshman year, Paulina has picked me up every single morning, every Wednesday for the show. Now that we're seniors, that carpool list of people we pick up has only gotten bigger. It is certainly something that I look forward to every single Wednesday.
My favorite behind the scenes moment was when me and Itza, who's a fellow reporter on the show, we got to do a story on the House of Torment. And we got to go through a couple of the haunted houses, and they tried so hard to scare us because they knew that we were filming, and we were definitely scared. We couldn't even move, and it was just a really funny experience.
My favorite Good Morning Longhorns memory would definitely be getting to meet Jenna Bush Hager not once but twice. I'd asked her about her book that she was coming out with her twin sister, which was like so cool because they like went on tour and all that. And then the second time her and Hoda came to Austin for like a Texas takeover. And I would never have gotten an experience like that if it weren't for Good Morning Longhorns.
You know, it just felt very full circle because growing up I watched the Today Show a lot. I interned there. That is definitely like one of my life goals, is to be able to work there someday, and to have that opportunity at the student level was just something that was absolutely magical.
The two biggest things that I got to cover this year that were super cool was Biden's visit to the LBJ school and getting to see him in person. It was one of those moments that just doesn't feel real. The other one is getting to cover Doug Emhoff's visit to San Antonio. Our associate news director, Justin, and we drove down to San Antonio. We like made a day trip out of it, and then we like raced back to make it back for the Monday evening news show. And we swung by the Alamo on the way back.
My most memorable behind the scenes memory would be when I planned a hot sauce segment for like the first show of the year, because there was a Texas Hot Sauce Festival that was happening in Austin, and I left all the hot sauces for the segment that I bought at home. I had to literally run back home. I made Ariba come with me, grabbed all the hot sauces, and made it back to be on air in 2 minutes. We literally were on air in 2 minutes.
My favorite memories from this year and the shows in general is just getting experience. It means a lot to kind of have that stepping stone at such a young age, and I feel like that was really impactful.
I feel like Good Morning Longhorns has shaped my time here at UT by allowing me to step out of my comfort zone more. I'm so sad to be leaving this amazing group of people who help put on this amazing show every week.
In terms of my favorite story, I've always loved being at ACL. I've always loved being on the CMT red carpet. That's sort of that professional experience that I don't think you get anywhere else at any other university.
This show was built on students who were driven about broadcast journalism. Do not hold back on stories because you feel intimidated. Just jump in 100%. Pitch those stories, interview those people. It's all about experience and putting yourself out there, and that's the best way to learn.
My Good Morning Longhorns journey started when I was a freshman. I was so nervous because I walked in on the first day and like the seniors were anchoring, or like maybe juniors or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're so old. Like, I want to do that. I guess my advice for anyone still in the show or wanting to join, definitely do it, because you're going to meet your best friends and it's literally so much fun. You have so much creative freedom. As someone who's a very creative person, or well, strives to be a very creative person, you have so much control over the content you do.
The biggest thing I could say is just get close with every single person that you're working with on these shows. That, you know, everybody who's in this video are people that I'm gonna be calling in 15 years and saying, let's go out in New York City. I love the show. It's like our baby, and yeah, we're gonna miss it.
Good Morning Longhorns and TSTV have had such a big impact on my time at UT. I've never really known UT without TSTV. My advice to people wanting to get involved in Good Morning Longhorns or in TSTV News would be to not be afraid to try something new.
Good Morning Longhorns has shaped my time at UT just because I think it's really assured my love for broadcast news. I've kind of grown in my ability to be natural on camera through GMLH, and also I made friends that like I wouldn't have otherwise if I wasn't on this show. My advice for future GMLH team members is just try to get on air as much as possible, no matter what thing you're doing, whether that be weather, whether that be live reporting. If you're waking up that early, it needs to be worth it. Am I right? Okay, that's all.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I will say Good Morning Longhorns for the last time. Bye, guys.
Well, as you guys just saw, and everything that Paulina produced. We are all such a close-knit group of people, and thank you so much, Paulina, for putting that together.
I know, I'm like emotional now.
It definitely strikes the chord right here in the heart, and I wouldn't have imagined my past 4 years here any other way.
I know, Itza and I literally met during a King Cake segment for Mardi Gras when we were sophomores, I think, or something.
We were freshmen.
Yeah, and it's crazy just like looking back like at all those videos when I was like making this video, and yeah, that was just, it was so much fun to make. And so yeah, when we come back, we'll be joined by the rest of our seniors that you saw in that video live in studio to reflect on their time at the 40 Acres and Texas Student Television.